Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Here's your brother in the struggle coming at you once again to help you make sense of all the craziness that is going on all over the planet. Okay? With a historical perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, the reality is that the devil has a hold on humanity like he has never had it. He has never had one before. Why? Because these are the last days of human existence upon this planet as we know it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are going back to the future. We are going back to what we, as a creation upon this planet, will be as we were meant to be. See, humanity was meant to live forever because we are earthly creatures under God's paradise. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what was coming down the pipe. But before we get there, there's some stuff going on, prophecies, okay, about to be fulfilled. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what I've been telling you, that the present president, the current president of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump, whose real name is Trump, ladies and gentlemen, is the last president of the United States, whether you want to believe it or not. Ladies and gentlemen, let me break it down for you. Let me get it to you straight from the hip. Let me give it to you straight from the hip. Let me tell you what the world is composed of. But first, let me tell you what I've been telling you all along. The greatest trick played on the human mind has been the religious concepts, and thereby religions. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, let me just break it down for you. Today, I'm going to prove to you that Allah is Satan. Okay? The whole world has been worshiping the devil. The United States is the second beast mentioned in the Bible. The first beast is the Roman Catholic Church, who worshipped the devil as well. And then you got the Jewish nation. People that I love. People that I have worked for in the past in Brooklyn, New York, which is where I grew up. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, Israel will be destroyed. I know what you're going to say. No, Ruben, Israel has nuclear weapons. Well, I got news for you. Those nuclear weapons will become useless. God will make sure of that. Because World War III is not going to be carried out, because it will mean the end of humanity. Humanity has finally gotten to that place where it can destroy itself many times over off the face of this earth. Humanity has been continuing destroying itself. Okay? So, first, you got the second beast, which is the United States of America, also known as Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. Babylon also is the Roman Catholic Church. Okay? Babylon means, ladies and gentlemen, what it says, what it stands for. It's an evil It's an evil concept. It's an evil government. Okay? So Babylon the Great has fallen. That's the United States of America. America knows that it's in the way of the New World Order, for which, whether they realize it or not, they're pushing for, which will be their own demise. Israel just mess with the wrong people, the Iranians. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a little bit of Iranian. Iranian comes from the Persian Empire. The Persian Empire, the Persians are mentioned in the Bible 29 times. With the books, I mean, there could be more, because remember there were 16 books taken out of the Bible by the first beast, like the book of Enoch, the story of Judith, that without Judith there wouldn't be God's real chosen people. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to send you links. Please pay attention to them. And one of them is, you're going to see a rabbi blessing Netanyahu. What's his name? The Prime Minister of Israel. I always have a hard time pronouncing his name. Netanyahu. Back in 1990, asking him to do more to bring the Messiah, to make sure that the Messiah comes back. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, they are dictating, they are demanding that the Messiah comes back. Never mind what the Messiah said, but here's where they are confused. They don't believe in the only Messiah, the one and only Messiah, which is Christ. Okay? Which is Yahshua or Yahasha, the Redeemer, God's only begotten Son. Okay? They don't believe in him. I already sent you proof as to why they believe of this man. They believe that the Virgin Mary is a whore who gave herself up to a Roman soldier, and that she's a promiscuous woman, and the baby that she had from this man named Christ is burning in hell with burning human excrement all over him. Ladies and gentlemen, the whole world is waiting for an Antichrist. And that's exactly what they're going to get. But not a man, it is a system, which is already here. Okay? So let's get that straight. So back in 1990, he's asking Netanyahu to start doing crazy things, to get into wars, and to get the United States into war, to make sure that the Messiah comes. But here's the problem. They don't believe in the Messiah, in the real and only Messiah that there ever was. I'm also going to send you proof that Allah is the king of jinns, the king of demons. He's the boss of all the demons. He's Satan himself. That's whom they worship. Have you ever wondered why these people pray and they go around the Kaaba every day, 7 times clockwise, 7 times counterclockwise? Why you think that is, ladies and gentlemen? They're worshiping the stone, the Kaaba. Well, God is going to smash that stone. And so he will also smash the wood. Wood and stone will be destroyed. Okay? Idolatry is the #1 game being played on the human scene. Humanity has become its own worst enemy. And he has been tricked into believing things that are not true. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, please understand, I'm not here to attack anybody. I live by the 10 Commandments. See what the 10 Commandments behind it? And the 10 Commandments really comes down to what? To 2 commandments, as Christ clearly told us. Love thy God with all thine heart and with all thy mind. And the other one is, love thy brethren as thyself. Remember when Christ was about to be killed? He looked at these humans, these Roman soldiers that were about to kill him. What did he say? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. And indeed, that is the case. Humanity is lost. Humanity does not know that it has been deceived. And every time they throw something out there, it's all for the detriment of humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, remember what happened in the year 2020? We all know what happened. Okay? We all know some people took some things that were not supposed to take and now are suffering the consequences of it. Those people are being primed. I mean, if you was, the idea is, if you were stupid enough to do that, then you are stupid enough to be manipulated and thereby destroyed. Today, there's no love for humanity. It's hate. Remember when the Beatles used to say, all we need is love? There's a problem with that song. When they say all we need is love is all we need. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 kinds of love. There is the earthly love. Our concept of love is completely, totally wrong. Remember what I just said. We are lost. That's why humanity is worshiping the devil, thinking that he is God. And humanity is about to pay a heavy price for it, and a well-deserved price for it. The United States is the second beast who has imprinted it in its money, in God we trust. Remember what the Freemasons believed. One of them being a 33rd Freemason named Albert Pike. Remember what he said? That Satan is the light bearer. Prometheus. That's why you see all the satanic symbols all over the place. You go to Rockefeller Center, who, by the way, are more than just Illuminati. Illuminati is just a byword. Ladies and gentlemen, this family is a Satanist. They're not just in the business of oil. What do they have in the Rockefeller Plaza? They have Prometheus there. Then you have the what? The Statue of Liberty, which will be destroyed, which indeed is the devil. So today, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep this nice and sweet. Today, I'm going to send you links, which is going to prove beyond the shadow of any doubt that Allah is Satan himself. Okay? Why you think all of Africa is suffering? Why you think is that? Why you think they come to America to look for a better place? Well, if the religion is such a great thing, what are they doing? Why are they committing fraud? You understand? Then you have the Roman Catholic Church, who is the first beast. Then you have the second beast, which is the United States of America. And then you have the Jewish people, whom once again, I love and I respect. Okay? And they're waiting for a Messiah. But it's not the only Messiah that has ever existed. They hate the only Messiah. They're waiting for what? For their satanic antichrist. That is who they mean, because their, ladies and gentlemen, their God is Lucifer. And by the way, they are so deceived, they still have them. They're still using the heavenly name given to Satan, that old serpent called the devil. So ladies and gentlemen, there's no if, there's no what if, there's no if or when about it. It's coming. Oh, get ready. Stay prayed up. Ladies and gentlemen, things are about to get very interesting. America will be attacked. Worse than 9/11. I hope you're old enough to remember 9/11. Okay? In fact, I'm going to send you my links and this video, my Rumble link, so that you subscribe there. Because there, ladies and gentlemen, you can say things that you are not supposed to say here. The truth is under attack. People don't want to hear the truth unless you push their own what? Unless you agree with them. And this is the devilish contrast. I mean, because if we live in a freedom of speech nation, the whole idea is to share different ideas. Now, the moment you push hate towards others, then that's a problem. There should be love in our heart. In fact, look what is happening in the Middle East. You know what's coming out of that war? America is going to be attacked. It's going to be false flag. Not by Iranian. They're going to blame Iran, just like they blamed Osama bin Laden for 9/11. But guess who was in charge? Guess who Osama bin Laden was working for? For the CIA. Osama bin Laden, his CIA name was Tim Osman. Remember, the United States was the one that created Al-Qaeda. Just like Israel created Hamas. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no hating. The whole of humanity is deceived for self-destruction encounter coming very soon. Okay, so the question is, Ruben, when is World War III? When was that? When is it coming? Is it coming at all? Yes. You know who against? Against the Redeemer, against the only Messiah that is coming, who's going to judge the whole world. All the weapons will be shot at him, thinking that he's gonna be that he's some kind of evil extraterrestrial. People are being conditioned through AI to believe, that extraterrestrial are just simply beings from other planets, when they are not other planets. We live on a flat enclosed earth. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, God's real chosen people, I already tell you many times over who they really are, which are the Native Americans who comes from the tribe of God. Issachar, who are the Mexicans. Levites, who are the Haitians. Simeon, who are the Dominicans. Ephraim and Joseph, who are the Puerto Ricans. Manasseh, who are the what? Cubans. Zebulon, the whole of South America. Asher, Venezuela, Colombia. Okay? Okay? From Guatemala to Panama, okay, it's Zebulon. The tribe of Naphtali, which are the Hawaiians and the Samoan Indians. The tribe of Reuben, who are in Australia. Remember what the Bible told us, teaches us, that we will spread all over the world. And we will be gathered again. And our king will be, again, King David. But the King of Kings will be our only Messiah, Christ. So ladies and gentlemen, please, I hope you wake up and come out of this satanic matrix that we live under. Okay? Because ladies and gentlemen, if you don't love your brothers and sisters, your brethren, there is no happiness in you. That's why I bring these messages to you. Okay? Now, why haven't I been doing videos? Because I was punished for my last video that I made for a whole week. I got a strike from YouTube. And this is why I'm telling you, the truth is got to keep going. I'm going to send you the links to my Rumble account. Where there you can talk about many things. In fact, there are things that you cannot say on this channel because you will be taken off. For instance, the fact that, and that goes to show that we live in a world of deceit, of liars, okay, for their own demise. Okay? Kash Patel's email was hacked by the Iranians. And their pictures. And guess what? I'm going to send you a link to where he shows you that Epstein is still alive. You have been lied to. Ladies and gentlemen, and isn't this what I've been telling you? It shouldn't surprise you. In the meantime, you got people all over the United States talking about no kings protests all over the place. Little do they know that Donald Trump will be the last president of the United States. Believe it or not, before all hell break loose. And by the way, let me touch upon this once again. There's going to be a false flag worse than 9/11 coming on America, and Iran will be blamed. But remember, Iran will come to the United States and help destroy. Remember, the meat is in the Bible. The Persians are coming again. The Persians have a primary. What did I just say? They are mentioned 29 times in the Bible, in the 66 books that we got. I mean, there's probably more. I'm just saying that we know of. 29 in the current book that we have, as it is. You know why? Because Persia played an impact in world history, and now it's playing it again. America is in deep trouble. It has hell to pay. Ladies and gentlemen, How many kids have been killed in the United States since 1976? What 1976 was it? Roe versus Wade. Remember the abortion decision that was taken by the Supreme Court? You know how many kids, how many millions of kids? Countless. Hundreds of millions of kids have been killed. Not to mention all the wars that the United States has started. Remember what I told you. I am a what? An ex-Marine, trained in Paris Island. And I can tell you, America has a war almost every 12 years. America loves to fight. Because remember what Isaac told Esau, whom America and the European nations are descendants of. Okay? You shall live by your sword. No land was promised to her. She just takes it. By war. So ladies and gentlemen, please, I'm here to tell you, everything is going to come out very soon. But do not be surprised. Okay? Remember what I said. I work for the government. The government means well. But it's part of a machinery to enslave the people. To make the people dependent on the government. So when the mark of the beast comes, okay, and you're not in the AI system that's coming, the machine that's getting ready, you will be you will be totally out. You will not be able to buy food or to rent unless you have the mark of the beast. What is the mark of the beast, ladies and gentlemen? It's going along with the system, believing in their political system, in their lies. Remember what I told you many times over. In fact, Teddy Roosevelt, who is one of the many Freemasonic president of the United States. Almost all of the United States presidents have been Freemasons. But people ask for proof. Proof is in the pudding. They control Hollywood. They push and control religion. They push chemtrails. They push gender engineering. They push transgenderism. Hello? Wake the hell up, people. It is time to face the satanic music. And that music is about to go silent. And then all hell is going to break loose. God's judgment will come upon this earth. It'll be too late. People will be destroyed needlessly. So while people are distracted with no justice, no peace, when man has never given any society justice or peace. In fact, I have a challenge. Can you show me a man throughout history that has brought justice or peace to its people? And I'm not talking about God chosen leaders like King Solomon, King David, Joseph, who became the second strongest man in Egypt. No, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about regular human being. Show me. You're not going to find it. Okay? Because it doesn't exist. But in the meantime, you got the brainwashed sheepos out there claiming they want justice and they want peace. Do they even know what justice means? What is their concept of justice and peace? Because without God, there is no justice or peace. It is what it is. That's the reality of it. That's all I bring to you here. Reality. Okay? So you got people protesting, no King's Day, and all of that. In fact, Vance, J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, have said that extraterrestrials are actually what? Demons. They have always been here. I mean, we don't want to look at realities. We want to live on La La Land. We want to live on fairy tales. And since we live there, that's why we think that this book, King James Holy Bible, is a book of fairy tales. That's what the Satanists will tell you. Or the atheists. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that most of atheists came out of religion? I mean, religion has been the most perfect trick that has ever been played on the human mind. Okay? So it is time to wake up and see and do not believe your news media. Look at it with a grain of salt. Look alternative media. Okay? Because what is happening, ladies and gentlemen, is more than meets the eye. And once again, let me say it again, there will be a false flag in the United States. And they're going to blame it on Iran. Just like they blame it 9/11. I mean, they follow the books. Little do they know that people are awakened. We know the truth. Your game, the jig is up. Your game has been exposed. And that's exactly what I plan to do with this video. To expose them all. Now, you make the decision as to who you're going to believe. Not me. The Bible, the Creator, and the one that gave humanity these instructions. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, that in Israel, in the city, I've been telling you this for the longest. In the city of Tel Aviv, every June, they have the greatest transgender, homosexual, lesbian, queer parade out of all the world. The biggest one in the world. I mean, Tel Aviv is in bad shape right now. They might have to relocate. Do you also know the fact that in Israel, abortion is free? You don't have to pay. Ladies and gentlemen, please, the Kabbalah, do your research on Kabbalah. It is time to wake up. I don't care whether you're a billionaire, whether you're a millionaire, a rich person, a middle class, a poor person, it doesn't matter. God doesn't look at what you have, but what you are. Each human being is priceless. So killing, I mean, you talk about killing, ladies and gentlemen. You're killing a human being straight from the womb. You cannot get any evil than that. In the United States of America, My body, my choice, they say, right? That's true. But choices have consequences. And when you choose to end the life of another human being that cannot defend itself, there'll be hell for you to pay. There'll be hell for you to pay. Ladies and gentlemen, another thing that I want you to understand, there is no hell. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if I was to die right now and I go to hell, then I've already been judged. I have already been judged. You see, understand? You see how it works? You see the lie? Just like they make you believe that your vote counts, when in reality, it doesn't. It is a psychological prison that they put you in. And when you get buyer's regret, it's too late. Because the one that are in power are the one dictating how you live, how much you owe the government, and all of that. It's too late. They got the power. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all I have for you right now. Now you see the difference in my video? I don't come here to actually to subscribe to anything or to come or to buy anything from me. This knowledge is given to you free of charge. And that's why I send you links. Make sure you look at them so that you see that what I'm saying here, I back everything that I say. Okay? So get ready. Things are about to get very interesting. So may God love you. Much love to you all. And remember, there's more.